Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for October 30th through November 2nd. Wow, 2021. This is some of the most intense astrology we've had all year, and we've had a whole year of intense astrology. So there's a huge culmination coming as we move into the Scorpio new moon that happens next week on the 4th. We are heading into the third and final Mercury in square to Pluto. And this has been 6 weeks about over the last 2 months of squares, our personal planets in square with Pluto. Mercury for 3 weeks as it turned retrograde, and then the Sun and Mars, and now Mercury coming in. But third and final. So know that this is a culmination energy over these next few days. You want to sit tight and be present for what's happening because, wow. Not only do we have Mercury coming up against Pluto, this is a feeling of wanting to move forward because Mercury is now direct, coming, getting some momentum back, but smack dab into this square with Pluto, which is the structures of power, the structures of energy that are keeping us from being able to move forward. This frustration at coming up against this world. And this is the energy of the theme of this video today, about this feeling of wanting to, this frustration. It's like we need to make our world right. There are so many conscious beings, so many amazing masters in a body right now on the earth, and yet our everyday world does not reflect the spiritual awakening. And it is time for the hammer to fall. It is time for us to face the music and turn the tables on this reality. So what does this mean for us personally? Well, we're figuring that out because we've got the Sun coming into square exact tomorrow. So we're already feeling this really intensely. This combination of Mercury square Pluto, Sun square Saturn, Venus square Neptune, all at once. So it's that hitting home. And what does it mean for us to make our world right? And we are being shown everything, and especially with the Sun in Scorpio, deep core hidden energies. That stuff that you have danced around your whole life, and now it is blooming to the surface. But this is exactly the energy of the collective, that we can't keep going and pretend that everything's okay. You supernova souls are here to lead the way. We talk about this, but what does that even mean? You are a purified and cleansed soul, even though you might feel really dark and dirty right now, because that's the current astrology. But how frustrating it's been for you over lifetimes and evolutions to keep showing up in your truth, in your light, in your peace, in your love, wanting to make things better. And just coming up against the structures that will not budge. And this is the energy right now, but it's giving us an opportunity. So Sun in Scorpio, it is time to delve into the places that we have feared before now, feared to tread. And so the Sun in Scorpio in square to Saturn, Saturn is the laws and rules of our reality, the plan. In Aquarius, it's about the future plan, but how in the heck do we get there? Aquarius energy is about visionary energy, reaching out and seeing an image and an energy of what's possible. But then how do you make the actual steps to get there? And I don't know if you're feeling this. I feel supernova souls feeling, but like our divergent realities and these timelines are getting so far apart. And yet the message is that that's exactly what needs to happen before we can get it all resolved and come back together to our oneness, to our unity within. And so use this time to make peace with the war within. Mercury's still in Libra. We're still trying to figure out how to fight without fighting. And that is standing in our righteous truth in every moment, in every opportunity. Supernova souls, we have rolled over and allowed our light and our personal life over lifetimes be taken from us. Now, it's really important to know, though, that this has been a battle that's gone on for a very long time, and you have kicked ass, and you're doing it, and you're here, and you're living, and you're breathing. So this isn't about like, oh, well, what do you need to do? Because this is more about, okay, I don't have any choice besides the truth of who I am, and I need to step into that right now. So, this Sun square Saturn is the energy of Saturn square the Sun. The Sun is who do we think we are, our identity. And then Saturn is everything, the laws and rules. So, it's like, so what we're looking at with the Saturn in Aquarius is now direct. And, but it's, so we're trying to move forward into this new age. But who are you? Who are you in that new age? You're who you really are. You're your true self. And so, um, it's it's powerful because everything that's been keeping us from moving into expanding into the new energies, and what I'm feeling is people getting a glimpse. This is coming from the Mercury trine Jupiter, so beautiful. The air trine, the new renaissance, like, oh, I feel it's getting lighter. This is something's different, something I feel this different energy. But then bam, with this astrology and all these squares, slammed back, knocked back down again. And what we need to do is we need to realize that we came into this realm as the righteous. And no matter how far we transgressed from source, God, creation, our role is to stand in that righteousness and be true to who we really are as supernova souls, in the rightness of the moment, in the rightness of every situation of, and this is maybe where we're being given an opportunity right now, situations showing up where you can exert your power in a way you haven't been able to in lifetimes. So maybe that's what this time is about for us. So, but the big thing we're feeling, I think, Pluto square, Mercury square Pluto, Saturn square the Sun. What we're really feeling right now is Venus in square to Neptune. That happened a couple days ago, but we'll be feeling it up to the new moon in Scorpio. So it's kind of starting to come off right now, but who vulnerabilities, Venus squares bring up our deepest vulnerabilities. And what is this about? Venus in Sagittarius is about the vulnerabilities of the feminine, our intuitive side, the rightness, the good, the true, the love, the compassion, the what our world needs, in square to Neptune. And Neptune in Pisces is speaking to the Piscean age. How did we get so duped? How did we go along, humanity in general, go along with the program that left is right and up is down? And the most evil people were the people we should worship. And it's because of the power of our ability to, it's the power of, so Neptune in Pisces has this power, this religious feeling, this spiritual feeling, this connection to God, this greater purpose. But then those same feelings were used to manipulate humanity. And that has to do with this Pluto in Capricorn. So with the bloom of these energies, we've got all of this on the table: Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, Jupiter in Aquarius, Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces, standing guard at the end of the zodiac saying, this is the end and the beginning. So the message is like, it makes sense. It's going to get more intense before it shifts. And here we are, we're in the storm. And to know that that duality is just ripping us apart inside, because we want to let go of everything that is false and come and stand again in our righteousness. And when we do that, what's really happening is we're releasing all shame, and we're forgiving ourselves, which is the first step to be able to forgive those who have wronged us. And supernova souls, you have been wronged. I mean, not to put a judgment on anything, but it's like the persecution that happened in the Piscean age that we're still trying to heal from. How could God let this happen to me? How could this get this far? This transit is bringing up deep and profound insecurities and doubt. Like, what am I even doing here? I thought I was getting somewhere. I had a glimpse. I thought it was all going to be okay. And now I'm up against the wall again, and she's feeling all alone and super vulnerable. And the thing about Neptune is it's like delusions and dreams and like you know, this feeling of not being able to trust anyone or anything. And ironically, it's all about coming into this deep and profound trust in who we are, what we've been through, and our powerful and profound role. There's a reason why you have not been supported in the role that you are here to play. And we all understand the dynamics of that. But there's also an energy of this Neptunian confusion that has to do with not knowing who we really are, not knowing the power we have inside of us, not understanding as advanced souls what we've gone through and the true potential that we have. And this is it. This is that energy of everyone around you constantly invalidating your spiritual path and purpose to the point where you just kind of want to give up. But just know that we're reliving this feeling from the Piscean age. It's actually not true for right now. We've already won, and it's change in ways we can't imagine. But there's something about you, supernova soul, in part of your role that you play is not knowing who you are. And I think there's dual reasons for that, like that our timelines have been manipulated, our Akashic records have been stolen from us. But there's also this kind of protection energy, and that you kind of had to lay low. We've had to lay low and hide even from ourselves, like those scrolls that got buried. And now this making it right is about excavating the truth of who we are and bringing it up to the surface yet again, so that we can stand in that righteous truth. And so really powerful, because the sun in Scorpio is about, the Scorpio is not scared to go to the dark. And here we have the creepiest time of the year, and we've got some really creepy astrology. And it's really coming to head about that the energy shifts. We've gotten to a threshold point. And as the energy vibrational field, it's like one by one, we're visiting that other vibration of 5D reality, but then it feels like getting kicked right back down. But we're at that threshold point where once we cross over, it's game over for all of this dark, evil shit that's been allowed to happen. And so when we can stand in our righteousness and our truth and our light, our armor of God, every moment of every day, right now, this is how we rediscover who we really are and get our marching orders and figure out our role in the new paradigm. So there's going to be quite a shift, and you're going to know right away as this starts to happen. You're going to understand a lot more about who you are and why you're here. And then it's just like, we're going to need to hit the ground running and be present and available. So don't lose heart. Know that this astrology is about the limitations on who you get to be in this world with Sun square Saturn. It's about confusion and delusion and nobody you can trust and nothing you can trust, and coming up against those old structures that have refused to move. Now, what's happening though early next week is that Venus is coming out of that square with Neptune. We're already starting to feel that lighten up, but then Venus will go over the Galactic Center on the 2nd and 3rd. And it's right then on the 2nd when Mercury has his final square with Pluto and moves out of retrograde shadow on the 3rd. This is 1 year from the very confusing, nothing makes sense, CGI election that we experienced in the US a year ago. And it can't continue in the darkness. It's got to come to the light. So know that this is the perfect storm of astrology, and you have been chosen to be here for a very important role at this very important time. And so use this energy to go to the darkest recesses of whatever might be hidden inside of you from your past life persecution and release this. It's really about coming to this place of forgiveness for yourself, for wherever you've wronged God, wherever you went off your path, and forgiveness of others, and the mercy that we need to have for ourselves and others, and release all of this. A lot of what's coming up with Venus squares will bring up feelings of victimization, and it's like, I am so done being lied to, like, as intuitive souls that have like dedicated their whole existence to truth. It's like a slap in the face. It's like supernova souls feel like they're the sacrificial lamb right now. And that's just what it looks like right now. Actually, you're the light and the glory, and we need you. And so hang in there. So the new moon is on the 4th, Thursday the 4th, and look out for an activation on Thursday, that day there, right around the time of the new moon. And so this new moon in Scorpio, wow, powerful energies, and all this astrology is leading up to the new moon in Scorpio. And the new moon in Scorpio could be a really great, powerful reveal of truth in our world. Truth has been very artificially suppressed, and so truth has to be artificially exposed or mechanically planned out and exposed. We've been talking for years about truth disclosure, and there's all kinds of hay piles out there, and what's going to start it. The reason this is something to keep in mind too is that in all this time of waiting on these truth disclosures, nothing has come forward. Little drips and drops. If you have ears to hear and eyes to see, but this isn't. It's all going to happen at once. Since we haven't had any of this truth disclosure, we're going to have a big bomb, a truth bomb experience where our world is going to change very quickly. And this ears to hear, eyes to see is very important. And maybe that's where we find our own way through the delusions. And I've gotten really powerful messages around this that, there's this feeling of victimization. Like, how could this happen to me? Now that I realize I'm a precious soul of light that's been devoted and dedicated to the truth this whole time. But it's like, in order to get ourselves fully out of this trap, we didn't want a savior this time. We wanted to know we could get ourselves out. And that's this astrology right now. And how do you get yourself out? You stand in that light of truth in every moment, in every situation. And so there's also something really powerful going on so we're claiming, this is all really about claiming our sovereignty and taking back our world. And supernova souls, we know we're here to lead the way in this. But you've been hiding and hidden and disconnected, and your records stolen and persecuted, and people around you for lifetimes, that their job is to make sure you don't know who you are. So there's also something going on around for supernova souls. It's like, yes, you have ears to hear and eyes to see, but it's something connected with our sovereignty, claiming back our sovereignty as human souls out of the manipulation of the dark forces, which has been in a huge bloom. And don't let anybody tell you different. There are certain souls that have been heavily targeted during this time. Why? Because you are that powerful. You are a visionary. You are holding the paradigm. And it would make sense at the end game that the most attack would come. But it's time for us to be seen and heard as who we are. And so this is going to be the focus for supernova souls as we move forward, coming together. I hope that you found the link to the Telegram channel, getting together for chats. I want to hear you. I want to see you. We all want to hear you and see you and be seen and heard, because what's coming through is that this is the key to our sovereignty. to breaking all contractual arrangements with any power outside of ourselves, because there is nothing higher. But if we're hiding and we're playing small and we're in that victim place, which I know it, but we're not seen and heard. And it's time for us to come forward in a big way. And you will be supported in this. I know it doesn't look like it right now. I know it seems as far away from the truth, this light coming back and this truth coming out and these big changes. And everybody's been talking about it for so long. And now it's just kind of like, oh, don't even get my hopes up, right? But it's darkest just before the dawn, and we're making our world right again. And you have no idea the role that you've played in this, because the energetic work that supernova souls do, the psychic work, the healing, the clearing, it's invisible. And this world does not value the invisible. And that's a big part that needs to change, because the invisible is that feminine that's been cast aside and in the gutter, and we got to pick her up and put her back in her rightful place. And that is the energy of this Venus going over the Galactic Center, claiming, saying, it's time for this level of work to be recognized and honored and supported. It's not ego. Actually, the victimization is way more ego, an attachment to the trauma. And so maybe that's what this astrology is about. It's giving us the opportunity to step out of those stories and step back into our golden raiment of light. So stick with me. Let's stay together. Let's connect. I will be in touch. Get on my email list if you're not already. And I will be in touch for periodic live chats on Telegram, where we can get this ball rolling and be together and be present for these amazing times that we live in. Don't let anybody tell you different. Everyone around you is going to say this is the darkest dark, and you have to be, no, this is the lightest light, and I'm the lightest light. And now it's time to come out from under that rock. And we're here together, and there's so much love here. So let's stay connected. I look forward to, keep in mind that Thursday new moon activation, Scorpio new moon, because that will be the culmination of this Mercury retrograde. The last 2 months of astrology, the last 2 years of WTF shit show of this world, the last 200 years of this era of the greater conjunctions happening in earth signs, maybe that expanded materialism, and 2,000 years since the Prince of Peace walked these lands, and that energy is here again in us. So stand in your righteousness, stand in your truth, stand in your love. It's so beautiful, beyond what we can imagine what's coming. So hang tight. Love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.